there Facebook, it is Vanessa here again, your speaker, trainer and coach from Live, Love, Give, and today I've got a message for you which kind of, again, I feel like it's a little bit controversial, and I know that this one is what I believe to be really, really empowering. And the reason why I believe it to be really empowering is because I am absolutely all about leaving behind victim mentality and moving forward towards our future from a place of empowerment. And I'm not saying that, you know, there is a time and place for owning and understanding that maybe we have been victimized, but I'm definitely not wanting to put any of us in under that kind of that role of playing the victim, because we end up identifying with it. We end up feeling like life happens to us and we have no control. We end up selling ourselves short. We end up not reaching for our highest potential, and all the while feel fated to never reach something grander and greater. So the way I want to talk into leaving behind the victim mindset today is ultimately around what I've titled today's message, which is that trust issues point more toward your relationship with yourself than they do toward your past experiences. And like always, I want to unpack and kind of explain what I mean by this, but I think that all of us at some point along our lives, being human beings, we've had somebody do something to us that has hurt us. That's something to us that has made us kind of lose our trust. That's done something to us that we've kind of started to question humanity, or we've questioned, oh, you know, maybe I have to be more discerning about people in general. And what I want to get us to the point of is, instead of, you know, reflecting back into our past and ultimately, you know, looking at different events, circumstances, situations, people, experiences, and feeling as though we can't trust because of those things that have happened in our past, I want to get us to a place where we are living in the present moment and we are projecting a future for ourselves in which we absolutely trust and believe in our ability to always handle it, to always figure it out, and we will not let our past, our memories of the past, which are really our emotions. Our emotions are just memories of the past, right? We're bringing them into this moment. We're categorizing. And one of those emotions is that lack of trust. You know, that feeling like we have to hold back, that feeling like we can't trust other human beings. We start painting this picture based on our past experiences. And as Tony Robbins would say, your past doesn't have to be your future unless you live there. And that's what so many of us do. I think every single human being is guilty of bringing a past experience into our present and projecting it into our future and actually recreating that. Because the brain, its job, what it's trying to do all the time is to prove itself right. So if we have an experience or a series of experiences where we have lost trust, you know, we've been hurt, somebody hasn't had integrity, somebody said one thing and done another, or whatever it is, however we've lost that supposed trust, you know, whenever we do that, we create this story about other human beings who we've never even met, or maybe we're just meeting now. And the reason why I'm talking into it as in having trust issues has more to do with your relationship with yourself than it does with your past experiences, is because your past experiences are here to challenge you. They, every experience that you have in life, if it's deemed a negative experience, it's here to actually challenge you to grow where you need to grow in terms of your inner strength. And this is how we exit the victim mentality and we step forth and we become the creator of our destiny. And that is in the separation from the experiences that we've had and making those assumptions and stories about other people not being trustworthy, and really reflecting instead on others but onto ourselves, and realizing that when we are not trusting of others, it's actually more about us not trusting in our ability to handle if another person is a human being and does something that hurts us or breaks our trust in any way. And so instead of creating a story based on a series of experiences where our trust has been broken, that prevents us from stepping forth and really, living to our highest capacity and being all of who we are and loving with the depths of how far we can go, instead of holding ourselves back from that, if we can develop a strength within that shows us our resilience in the times where we've been hurt, our resilience and strength that has been generated from every single time that, other human beings have been human beings, and we couple that with a reflection, with an honest reflection on our own experiences and the times in our lives where we have been the one to hurt and break the trust of others, then we can actually own it. We can disattach from it because we're, in a state of knowingness, of equality, because we know that, what other human beings how they've hurt us is we've actually done the same thing, and maybe in a different way. Maybe you have to really think about it, but I promise you it's there, and you've absolutely broken somebody else's trust unknowingly or whatever, but you've got to get that perspective, and then you've got to go about the business of developing an inner strength that you know and you believe that you can and will handle any inevitable challenge, broken trust, hurt, whatever you feel the outside world could potentially give you the opportunity to experience, you can withstand that, and actually even better than that, you'll grow and evolve and shift and change and reach a higher level of your potential based on the challenge, and you might become even as sick as I am a little bit, which is like loving challenge so much, even though like sometimes I kind of like have to slap myself and say, why did you wish for that challenge? Because in the moment, it's always, you don't want it, right? But when you have a growth mindset and you welcome in the challenges because you trust in your ability to figure things out, and you know that you always grow from them, you know that every single thing that enters your life is a stepping stone towards a new higher level of your potential, and therefore towards your fulfillment. So I think that's all I wanted to say really on this topic, but I'm hoping that it is resonating with you guys. I hope it's of value as always, and I hope that it just gets you thinking. If you battling trust issues in your life has been a thing, I just want this message to ideally get you to just take an outside perspective for a moment, kind of take a third-party perspective on your life and on your experience, and ask yourself, like, how is my trust within myself? Because when we find it difficult to trust others, it's really a reflection of our lack of trust within ourselves. And you may have had this experience in different relationships in your life. I actually just, I've made some realizations. They're kind of like a new layer and evolution of realization in my life. But, somebody amazing in my life just yesterday just put a lot of trust in me, where it allowed me to actually reflect back in the same situation and see how another person who I have had in my life, who's no longer in my life, in that same situation wouldn't put their trust in me. And it was really quite devastating for me, because trust to me is absolutely everything. I think you guys have heard me say so many times that when somebody puts their trust in me, like, it is the greatest gift in my books, and there's a whole history of why that is the case. But this amazing person in my life alerted me to the fact that that trust that I was so longing to have from that other person really had nothing to do with me being a trustworthy person or not, and everything to do with that person's relationship with themselves and their inability to trust themselves in terms of handling any perceived hurt. All right, so that is such a great gift, and I hope that this is resonating with you guys, and I can't wait to jump in and check in who's been able to join me, and make sure that you're saying hi. I love connecting with you guys, and any questions or comments or anything that you'd like to share with our amazing community, I would absolutely love to hear from you now. So let me check in. I've got Sahil, awesome to see you, and Ram, and Yabaz, and Andrew, and Jody, and Byron, and Moyne, hello to you, and Judy, and hello Ram, And Bina, thank you for sharing your wisdom. It brings a lot more lights to my life. I love hearing that, Bina, and you're always such a light having you join the conversation. I always love it. And I've got Vanessa, yay, and Dawn, and Frank from Switzerland. Oh, beautiful part of the world. I haven't spent enough time in Switzerland, but I was in Zurich back in 2015. Amazing place. So I love having you here, and I always love hearing where you guys are from. Thanks, Frank, and you're so welcome, Moin. And Manish, I cannot tell what you've written, but I love having you here. And Moin, I love that you're connecting with Bina. And Julie's here, and Gary, and Steve. Hi, darling Vanessa, I missed you last few weeks due to full on schedule. Well, I'm so grateful to see you back, Steve. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you being here, and I hope that it has been a really successful last few weeks. That's awesome. And Ram, very good topic. Yes, relationship with ourselves defines how we develop trust with others. You got it, Ram. Absolutely. I love that this is a great message for you. And Bram, great to see you. Can't wait to see you next week in group coaching. And Bina, thank you for sharing your wisdom. It brings lots more light. Oh, yes, I read that. Oh, or maybe you posted that again. I love that. Bina, thank you. And Steve, love the video post. Great topic. Love hearing that, Steve. And Ashish is here. And Bram. Hello, lovely Vanessa. Hello, amazing Bram. I love seeing you. Must be a good time for you. I love it. And Skip, hello to you. And Bina, oh, sorry, keep posting that comment, and I love it. I keep rereading it. And Sahil, namaste Vanessa, good morning. We are 100% responsible for our present situations. I love that mindset, Sahil. So empowering. The most empowering gift you can ever give to yourself is to take full responsibility for the full set of results that you experience in your life. Not blaming yourself and not blaming others, but taking responsibility and choosing to project your energy towards creating a really compelling future rather than worrying about who's to blame for the results that you think you don't want, instead of balancing it out. And if you're somebody who does get stuck in that mentality of like regret or wishing things to be different, or you know, poor you, or you know, like life's happened to you, I challenge you to identify what those things are that you feel hard done by, and I challenge you to balance the equation out by seeing how that very thing that's happened has actually supported you. And this can get very, very controversial as we go down that path, depending on the things that happen to different people. But gosh, have I watched some incredible human beings who have had some of the most horrific things that no human being needs to experience happen to them, and find the other side and actually find gratitude for the most painful, horrific, terrorizing acts that they've experienced. So, and I believe in the possibility, and I know that we've all got the potential to break free of the victim mentality and absolutely take responsibility from a place of empowerment. And I love that you just shared that, Sahil. And Frank, how and what is that? Mind transfer between people without them talking to another. I see this more and more in my life. I mean, I think about something, an example, my wife starts talking about that. Yeah, I don't know. It is so cool. I am really actually super interested in that too myself, Frank, and how cool and how in sync we can definitely get. My perception on it at this stage, without going super deep, is that every single one of us has 8 different cognitive functions, so 8 different mental processes that our brains use. 2 of those functions, and this is kind of the way I'm thinking about it, are intuitive functions, meaning that they're not just relying on the senses, our 5 senses and kind of beyond that. They're actually advanced pattern recognition in our external world and in our mind. So there's an introverted version, which is kind of the ability to kind of watch your subconscious mind form patterns. We all have access to it. Some of us use this as a strength. Only 10% of the population use it as a strength. But then there's the other version, which about 15% of people use as a strength. We all have access to both of these, but it's an extroverted intuitive process, meaning that it's pattern recognition in the external world. And I haven't done enough research on this topic just yet, but it definitely fascinates me enough to dive a lot deeper into this and have this conversation with you guys. But I believe that a lot of that is it creates those synchronistic kind of experiences and moments in our lives, and we don't know where it came from. We don't know how that happened, but it's actually some sort of advanced pattern recognition in our brain that we're not kind of conscious of at times. And I believe that there is definitely a connection there. And there's also energetic connections. There's so much more at play. There's so much more communication going on that we are just totally unconscious to. And it is such a fascinating topic. And I hope that just me sharing that tiny little piece of my thoughts on that, Frank, is of value, and I appreciate that. And Lakpa's here, and Tim. Hi, Vanessa, long-time listener. Awesome. I've been guilty of not being trusting in the past, but I've also trusted others that in the end did hurt me, which I don't feel I dealt with at the time. How can I allow my past hurts to challenge me to grow rather than self-sabotage on my own self-worth? P.S. Go Richmond. Yay! In the finals, yellow and black. Back to back. Oh my gosh. Oh, from a Port fan. Well, I so appreciate you, revving up the Tigers, even though you're a Port fan. That's awesome. And yes, oh my gosh, my amazing Tigers. AFL for all you guys who don't know what the hell we're talking about. But if you're a Melburnian, like, you can't not be a footy supporter. So, Tim, I so appreciate that you're a long-time listener, and I absolutely love your openness and your ability to kind of reflect and see how, taking that responsibility of being guilty of not being trusting of others, but also have the desire and the courage and the strength to go, you know what, I don't want to be held back by past hurt. I want a pathway forward to break through from that and actually convert pain into wisdom so that I can reach a new level of my potential. So you are such a superstar, and this is a big part of the work that I do with people, in terms of cutting ties with those past pains and actually moving forward with our future. So I do a lot of work with my personal one-on-one clients and take them through processes which kind of tap into the subconscious, bring that up, because the fact of the matter is, we think that we forget things, but your subconscious has stored every single memory of your experience. It's just that, your conscious mind is only 5% of the mind's capacity, so it thinks it's forgotten. It thinks it's not being driven and, directed by that subconscious, but it absolutely, totally is. And it's why 95% of what we respond to in the moment has nothing to do with the present moment and everything to do with the past, because of those stored memories that we're not having a process to clear and create, recreate wisdom rather than pain from those past hurts that have been unresolved, that we think we've forgotten and doesn't matter anymore. It absolutely does. It's driving your behavior. So what I would say is that obviously I'm not working with you on the one-to-one level, but there are some brilliant processes. I really, really highly recommend Dr. John Demartini and doing what we sort of think about the Demartini method, which is really, you can also use Byron Katie's work, thework.com. You get those free resources, and what it is, it's about reflecting back into those moments in time where we feel we're all bad and finding the other side, doing the turnarounds, finding, this thing that we think is all, so many disadvantages attached to it, and finding that actually everything's in equilibrium and there are as an equal amount of benefits that were happened for you with that negative event. And also, oh my gosh, there's so many different angles I'd want to take on this. Also, like I said earlier, owning that trait to the same degree within yourself. And that's what I said, Demartini does a lot of work around this if you want to dive into his work. I've got one spot on my coaching, if that is of interest to anybody, and for you, let me know, Tim. I'm always open to taking on a new client and just to see if we're a good fit. But yeah, let me know if you need any extra guidance on that. And Stephen's here, and Ram, today is a very special festival in India for brothers and sisters where In sisters tie a special band of love on their brother's hand to reinforce trust and love in the most beautiful relationship. Oh, so very apt topic for your you have chosen, Vanessa. Many thanks. Oh, I absolutely love hearing that, Ram. And I wish I had known earlier. One of my brothers was just over, so I could have wrapped something around his hand, built some more trust and love. I love it. That's so cool. What an amazing cultural experience. I love that. Thanks so much for sharing, Ram. And John's here, and Dawn, I'm loving that this is a really good message for you. Awesome. And Terry's here, yay, from sunny Spain. I always love it. And Dawn, he always makes us think and reevaluate our past relationships, which is good. It makes me learn more about myself, and that's why I'm here. Thank you. And by the way, I trust you and love your coaching and environment. Oh, Dawn, you're touching my heart. As I said, that is absolutely the greatest gift you could ever give me, is your trust. And I am so grateful for our paths crossing, Dawn. I so can't wait to dive in to our next masterclass when I get to see your beautiful face again and dive into your amazing energy. You're a superstar. And Frank, how and what? Oh, I read that one again. I don't know why some of our messages are doubling up, but I love it. And Steve, you're amazing, Vanessa. You're amazing, Steve. I so appreciate such kind words. And Lucy's here, and Kimberly, and Michael, and Steve. Everyone has 8 senses. That's why Chinese use 8 as the ultimate number and perfect. I love it, Steve. Awesome. Interesting. And I actually just did our last monthly masterclass with the Limitless Potential Academy on the 8 different energy centers. This 8 is absolutely, I've been diving into, so that masterclass, I've come up with, I've kind of molded all these different frameworks together and I squeezed it into an hour for you guys. Yeah, it's amazing, like how we have these different levels of intelligence, different levels of energy centers that reflect parts of the body and also emotions, and where we kind of can trap emotions. I've called it the 8 different levels of self-love. And if you guys want access to that training that I did what is it, like a week and a half ago, you can get instant access to it with the link that I have above this video, as well as the previous 2 masterclasses that I've done for you guys. And you'll be set up to join me live for our next upcoming masterclass, which I'll be doing for you guys. I think I might be in the Amalfi Coast when I do our next masterclass, because I'm off to Italy for the next 5 to 6 weeks, road tripping around Italy as of Tuesday, and then beyond that I'm keeping traveling around Europe. So I can't wait to bring more of that to you guys, and I love you sharing that, Steve. And Katrina, awesome to see you. And Dawn, oh, my last word was supposed to say I love your empowerment, not environment. Oh, I'm talking instead of typing. I love it, Dawn. Well, environment or empowerment, I love both. So I think you're such an amazing contribution to our beautiful environment that we create whenever we connect. So I love it. And Steve, AFL, you mean Elf the game is out of the world? Oh, I don't know Elf the game, but I definitely love AFL. So you'll have to enlighten me about Elf the game, if it's even better. And Frank, Vanessa Jane, you are a gift of God. Oh, I like your information. Oh, Frank, you are touching my heart, my friend. Thank you so much for such beautiful, kind words. I absolutely love having you here. And thanks for the contribution to our conversation today. And Mark's here, and Chris, and Alonia, and Daryl. You keep your promises to others, you're responsible. You keep your promises to yourself, you're successful. Marie Forleo. Oh, gosh, I love that woman. She is such a powerhouse. I so appreciate you sharing that, Daryl, and what incredible words of wisdom. If you guys don't know Marie Forleo, you should definitely check her out. Gosh, I love her. And so authentic and genuine and funny and just brilliant. So thank you, Daryl. Absolutely beautifully put. And Elena is here, and Manoj, you are so welcome. So I really hope that today's message has served you and supported you, and it's got you thinking about any time you are lacking trust in the external world, you know, be conscious and be cautious of that, and definitely, you know, don't go against, you know, what your instincts are, but use it as a way of checking in with your relationship with yourself. Because what happens is we have those trust issues, and it has nothing to do with that other person or our past experiences, and has everything to do with whether or not we are trusting in our ability to handle pain, challenges, hurt, whatever we're going to experience it. It's inevitable. We're dealing with human beings, and we are human beings. You know, we're not always going to be perfect. We're going to trip up, you know. So instead of, you know, feeling disempowered and putting the power in those external sources, take some of that power back and look at your relationship with yourself and ask yourself, how is it that I am going to build a sturdy trust and belief in myself that I can always figure it out and handle it? And you'll look back at your past experiences and check in and see you're still here. You've grown. You've learned some lessons. What value did those painful moments add to your life? Take the wisdom and build that resilience, and you will have the life of your dreams, I hope. All right, guys, as always, I'm sending you all of my love, light, blessings, gratitude, energy, enthusiasm, everything extraordinary coming to you to wherever you are in the world today. I hope it's beautiful, amazing, and extraordinary. I really hope that today's message has served you. And last little comments here I can see. Sahil, we are grateful for you for putting your vital time and energy for sorting out our psychological problems from your super productive schedule. Thank you so much for your light. Sahil, you, my friend, are absolutely touching my heart, and I really appreciate that. And yes, that's what I show up for, so I'm super grateful to hear such beautiful words. And Sashin, I can see you're joining now. I hope you're catching the recording and you're going to get a ton of value from today's message. I'm signing off. I'm sending you all of my love, and I cannot wait to see you tomorrow.